Have you ever found yourself staring at the sky, wondering if the universe is listening? Have you ever asked a question in your mind and secretly hoped for an answer? Maybe you've heard people say things like speak to the universe or trust the signs. But what does that even mean? And more importantly, does it actually work? The truth is, we've all had moments when life feels uncertain, when we don't know what decision to make, when we feel stuck, and just wish something bigger than us could guide us. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not just spiritual fluff. And no, it doesn't have to be complicated. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 real, practical, and grounded ways to talk to the universe and actually get an answer. No BS, no fake positivity, just real ways that people across cultures, beliefs, and even science-backed practices have used for centuries to get guidance, direction, and peace of mind. This isn't about getting rich overnight or magically fixing your problems. It's about learning how to tune into the signs, patterns, and quiet signals that the universe is constantly sending your way. So if you've been searching for something deeper, if you're tired of feeling like your questions are floating in the air with no reply, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have 5 powerful tools to help you not only ask the universe for answers, but also recognize when it's actually answering back. Let's get into it. The first and most important way to talk to the universe and actually get an answer is this: ask clearly and ask specifically. You see, the universe is like a mirror. It reflects back to you what you project into it. If you send out confusion, you'll receive confusion in return. If your questions are vague or uncertain, don't be surprised when the answers are just as unclear. This is where most people get it wrong. They say things like, I want a better life, or I want to be happy. But what does that even mean? Better in what way? Happy in what form? When you're not specific, you leave too much room for interpretation and too little room for clarity. Imagine this. You go into a restaurant and the waiter asks what you'd like to order. And you say something like, I just want food. Well, they might bring you anything from a slice of bread to a bowl of soup. Maybe something you're allergic to or something you don't even like. And whose fault would that be? Yours, because you weren't clear. You didn't say what you really wanted. It's the same with the universe. The more specific your question, the more specific the guidance you'll receive. So how do you actually do this? Start by taking a quiet moment to reflect on what's really on your mind. Don't rush the process. Go deeper than the surface thought. Instead of saying, I don't want to feel lost, say what would make you feel found. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, ask what success looks like to you. Is it financial stability? Is it doing meaningful work? Is it living in a certain place or having certain relationships? Get as clear as possible, because clarity creates direction, and direction allows the universe to respond with alignment. One powerful method is to write your question down in a journal or speak it out loud when you're alone, maybe during meditation or before sleep. Saying it with intention makes it more real, more powerful, more focused. For example, instead of asking, should I quit my job? Ask, what is the next step in my career that aligns with my growth and purpose? Instead of asking, when will I find love? Ask, what do I need to learn or become to attract a healthy and lasting relationship? See the difference. One is passive and uncertain. The other is active and focused. And here's something you might not expect. The universe loves questions that are tied to growth, not just to comfort. If you're always asking for escape or shortcuts, the answers may not come in the way you hope. But if you ask questions that are rooted in truth, in growth, in your willingness to change, that's when you start to feel the shift. That's when you start to notice answers showing up in conversations, in dreams, in books, or even random moments that feel like they were meant just for you. So take this seriously. Next time you want to talk to the universe, ask clearly, ask specifically, and don't just throw your words out there and hope for magic. Speak with intention, speak with courage, and speak like you believe there's something listening. Because maybe, just maybe, there is. The second way to talk to the universe and actually get an answer is to watch for synchronicities. Now, I know that word might sound a little mystical, but it's actually one of the most grounded and powerful ways the universe responds to your questions. Synchronicity is what happens when life lines things up in a way that feels too perfect to be random. It's when events, numbers, people, or messages show up at exactly the right time, often in patterns or sequences that catch your attention and stir something inside you. Let's say you've been asking the universe for guidance about a big life decision, maybe changing careers or moving to a new city. And then out of nowhere, you keep seeing the name of that city pop up over and over. Maybe someone mentions it in a random conversation. Then you see a video about it. Then a song plays that reminds you of it. And it keeps happening until it's almost impossible to ignore. That's not just coincidence, that's synchronicity. And it's how the universe taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, pay attention. Here's your answer. The thing is, the universe doesn't always speak in words. It speaks in symbols, in patterns, in repetition, and in emotion. When something repeats itself more than once, and it stirs something inside of you, don't just brush it off. Write it down, take note of it, reflect on what it might be pointing you toward. This is why awareness is everything. If you're too busy, too distracted, or too skeptical to notice the subtle signs, you'll miss the answers that are right in front of you. One common example is seeing repeating numbers like 111, 222, or 444. Some people call them angel numbers, but you don't need to label them at all. Just know that when you start seeing patterns like that, especially during moments when you're thinking deeply about something, it's not random. It's a sign to tune in, to pay attention to your thoughts, to your emotions, and to your environment, because something meaningful is happening. Synchronicities also show up in the form of people. Sometimes the answer you've been looking for walks into your life as a conversation with a stranger, or a friend calling you unexpectedly with the exact words you needed to hear. Or maybe you stumble upon a book, a podcast, or a quote that feels like it was written just for you. These moments aren't loud, but they are powerful. And they are often the way the universe confirms that you're on the right track or nudges you in a new direction. So if you've asked the universe a question, the next step is to stay open, observe without obsessing, and stay curious without trying to force meaning onto everything. Let the signs come to you. Let the synchronicities flow naturally, and trust your intuition to tell you which ones truly matter, because deep down, your soul knows when something is meant for you. And remember, the more you notice synchronicities, the more they seem to happen, because attention is energy, and the universe responds to energy, so be present. Stay aware, and when the signs come, don't just say, wow, that's weird. Say thank you. I see it. I'm listening. The third way to talk to the universe and actually get an answer is by using the power of silence. Now, this one might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful and often overlooked. We live in a world that is loud, non-stop, and constantly filled with noise. From social media to emails to conversations and notifications, our minds are always occupied, always spinning, always reacting, and in that constant noise, we forget how to listen. You see, the universe is not shouting at you. It whispers. It speaks in subtle ways, through feelings, instincts, quiet ideas, or soft nudges. And to hear that, you need to slow down. You need to get still. You need to let your mind and body settle into silence. Not just outer silence, but inner silence too. That space where your thoughts are not racing, where you're not trying to fix or figure out anything, just being fully present in the moment. When you enter silence with intention, you're creating a space for answers to arrive, and they often do. Maybe not as a clear voice or a sentence in your head, but as a sense of knowing, a sudden clarity, or an emotion that tells you what's right or what's wrong. Silence is where your inner world becomes loud enough to hear, where your intuition can finally breathe and speak up without being drowned out by overthinking. This doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours or go live in the mountains. Even 5 to 10 minutes of intentional silence a day can completely shift the way you connect with yourself and with the universe. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, close your eyes if that helps, and just breathe, not to force anything, but to let go of everything. Let go of needing the answer right now. Let go of stress, let go of expectation, and just be. In the silence, pay attention to how you feel. Maybe your body feels tense when you think about a certain path. Maybe you feel light and open when you imagine another one. Those sensations are answers. That energy is information. The more you sit in silence, the more sensitive you become to those signals, and over time, you start to notice that your guidance system has been there all along. You just needed the space to hear it. Another beautiful thing about silence is that it helps you separate fear from truth. When your mind is noisy, fear loves to take over. It throws in doubts, worst-case scenarios, and confusion. But in silence, fear starts to fade, and what remains is usually something softer, calmer, and clearer. That's your truth, and that's what the universe wants you to hear. So the next time you ask a question, instead of chasing an answer or begging for a sign, just sit with it in silence, breathe with it, feel into it, and trust that what you need to know will rise to the surface, because when you become quiet enough, you'll realize the universe has been speaking to you the entire time. The fourth way to talk to the universe and actually get an answer is to ask for a sign. Now, this might sound a little out there to some people, but it's actually one of the most direct and interactive ways to communicate with the universe. And what's amazing is that it works more often than you think, but only if you're open enough to receive it, without trying to control how it shows up. Asking for a sign is like saying to the universe, hey, I'm listening, I'm open, I'm willing to be guided. It's about entering a state of humility and trust, where instead of trying to figure it all out on your own, you invite something bigger than you to step in and give you clarity. And this isn't about testing the universe or playing games with it. It's about deep connection. It's about surrendering your ego for a moment and allowing something meaningful to reveal itself in a way you can understand. So how do you ask for a sign? It's actually really simple. All you need to do is ask from your heart, not from your fear. Let's say you're unsure about a decision or path. Take a moment to quiet yourself, breathe deeply, and then ask something like, Universe, if this is the right direction for me, please send me a clear sign that I'll recognize. And then, if you want, you can even choose a specific sign, like a white feather, a butterfly, a specific number, or even a certain song. Choosing a specific sign isn't about making it harder. It's about giving your intuition something to focus on, something that feels personal to you. Maybe butterflies have always made you feel calm, or maybe you keep seeing 1111 and it always feels like a moment of alignment. So when you ask for that sign, you're telling the universe, I'm paying attention, and I'm willing to receive your message in this way. Now here's the key. Once you ask for the sign, let it go. Don't obsess over it. Don't keep checking your phone or looking around every corner. Just move on with your day and stay gently aware, because signs often come when you least expect them, not when you're forcing it. And they almost always come with a feeling of recognition, like something in you just knows this is the sign. This is the message. And sometimes the sign doesn't come in the way you expected. Sometimes it's not the exact feather or number you asked for, but it shows up in a different way, maybe in a dream, or in something someone says that hits your heart in the exact right spot. So don't limit how the universe can communicate with you. Trust that if you ask with sincerity, you will receive what you need, even if it looks different than what you imagine. Also, be honest with yourself when the sign comes. Sometimes we ask for a sign and then we get it, but we pretend we didn't see it, because deep down we were hoping for a different answer. But that's not how it works. Signs are not there to tell you what you want to hear. They're there to guide you toward what your soul already knows is right. So if you're confused, or searching for direction, or just want to feel supported, ask for a sign. But ask with an open heart and a willingness to truly listen. Then let the universe do its thing. And when that sign shows up, no matter how big or small, say thank you, because that moment of connection is something truly sacred. The fifth way to talk to the universe and actually get an answer is through your dreams and your subconscious mind. This is one of the most powerful and often most underestimated tools you have. Because while your conscious mind is busy during the day analyzing everything, thinking through problems, and reacting to the outside world, your subconscious is always listening, always observing, and always connected to deeper wisdom that your waking mind sometimes misses. Dreams are like messages from the soul. They're a direct bridge between your inner world and the universe. They bypass your logical mind and go straight to the truth that lives beneath the surface. And when you start paying attention to them and even working with them intentionally, you'll start to see patterns, signs, and answers that you never noticed before. One of the most effective ways to use dreams to communicate with the universe is to ask a question before you go to sleep. You don't have to say it out loud unless you want to, but speak it clearly in your mind with real intention and emotion. For example, you might say, Universe, please guide me on what to do next in this situation, or show me the truth about what I need to let go of right now. Then allow yourself to drift into sleep with that energy of trust and openness. Now, your dream might not give you a step-by-step answer in some dramatic way. Sometimes it might be a symbol or a strange scene, or just a feeling that stays with you when you wake up. Don't rush to analyze it too quickly. Instead, try to write it down in a journal the moment you wake up. Even if it doesn't make much sense, the act of writing helps your subconscious speak louder over time, and soon you'll start to notice connections between your dreams and your waking life. Another thing to remember is that the subconscious is always active, not just during sleep, but also in those quiet in-between moments, like when you're showering or walking or even just daydreaming. And the more you feed your subconscious with focused intention, the more it starts to reveal answers in unexpected ways. Maybe you suddenly get a thought that feels like a download, or a realization that feels way too clear to ignore. That's your inner guidance system responding to the signal you sent out. And this is why it's so important to be mindful of what you're feeding your mind throughout the day too. If you're constantly stressed or distracted, your subconscious gets cluttered and your connection to the universe becomes noisy and chaotic. But if you spend time in reflection, journaling, meditation, or even just silence, you're training your mind to listen more deeply and to speak more clearly with that universal intelligence that is always around you. The universe often speaks through the language of the subconscious because that's the part of you that's not trying to control everything. It's the part that trusts that something bigger is guiding you even when you don't have all the answers yet. So when you want to talk to the universe, don't forget to include your dreams. Don't forget to include your inner world, because that's where the deepest conversations often happen. You don't have to decode every dream perfectly or become an expert in dream interpretation. You just need to be open to the fact that not everything is meant to make logical sense. Some answers are meant to be felt, understood intuitively, and trusted from a place beyond words. And when you honor that space, when you start to pay attention and invite the universe into your subconscious, you'll realize that the answers have always been there waiting for you to hear them. So when it comes down to it, talking to the universe isn't about magic or rituals or trying to control some higher power. It's about opening yourself up to something greater than your own mind, something deeper than logic and control. It's about trusting that the answers you seek are already available if you're willing to ask, listen, and receive. Whether you ask clearly and specifically, or look for synchronicities, whether you sit in silence, or ask for a sign, or tune in through your dreams and subconscious, the truth is the universe is always responding, always whispering back. It's just that sometimes the noise of life drowns it out. And all we need to do is slow down and remember how to hear. And you don't have to do all of these at once. Just start with one. Start with what feels natural to you and stay consistent with it. Because the more you practice, the more you build that connection. And over time, it becomes a conversation, not a one-time request, but an ongoing relationship with the energy that moves through all things. So next time you're looking for clarity or guidance, or even just a little peace, take a breath, center yourself, and say it with intention, universe, I'm ready to listen.